Welcome to the God's Economy podcast, where we learn to live beyond the world systems. Today, I'm so excited to have with you. I'm your host, by the way, Rick Nemi. I'm excited to have Nick Carlile with me, a mental performance coach. And I'm excited to hear, I'm real excited about this because when you get somebody, I've described him as a brilliant young mind. He has a story, he has a testimony of where he was in his life to how he got to where he's at. And we're here to talk about it plus more. So let's get into it. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, brother. Honored to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, so what is a mental performance coach?
Mental performance coach, man. What I tell people that I do is I help people get out of their own way and understand how their mind is constantly creating their reality, mostly subconsciously. Okay, honestly, um, and help people really, at the end of the day, progress in self-awareness, dude.
Okay.
I think at some level, transformation is about self-awareness, about understanding how I am creating the world around me,
Uh-huh.
understanding who I am in the world, what my bents are, subconscious, conscious, um, understanding who God is in relation to me, understanding how I relate to other people, understanding how I relate to the events of the world. So at some level, mental performance coaching is about increasing that self-awareness so that we can have that knowledge and then we can then manage our lives better, because you can't manage what you're unaware of.
No, you're
Right?
100% right. I mean, it's the reason why I have an Aura ring. Heart issues in the family. I want to pay attention to my heart rate variability and some other things. I think with awareness comes choice,
Mm,
and you're talking about awareness. So let's talk about who's a candidate to be, a client of yours.
yeah, thank you,
I
man.
mean, professional athletes. Is
So,
it just the average mom? I mean, actually, I have a friend, Sarah. You're watching. You're saving up
mm,
to hire Nick.
mm,
You're
what's
popular,
up
man.
there?
People wanna hire you.
Yeah, man. I work with really um, anyone who is committed. I like to say, when I first got into the business, I kind of saw myself as a barber, just taking anyone who wanted to get a haircut. You want a haircut, she wants a haircut. I'll
Yeah,
coach anyone.
yeah.
And I started to see that some people uh, were challenging to have conversations with, and some people weren't very committed, and some people, when I talked to them, an hour conversation would feel like 5 hours, and then other people, an hour conversation would feel like 2 minutes and
Yeah,
make massive progress.
yeah.
So within that, I just started to iterate, who are these people who I like to work with? And it comes down to, I like to work with leaders and those who are highly committed, man. Those who are down to play a massive game and who want to level up and who feel called to more, dude.
Level up.
Yeah.
Well, you
So
okay.
I work with pastors, business owners, sales reps, stay-at-home moms.
Okay.
I work with like 8 to 10 high school kids at any given time. I was a high school teacher for a little bit, which is super fun. I go on hikes with them
Okay.
in my hometown. And then I work with a handful of professional athletes, mostly in the MLB,
Okay.
which has been super fun for me and kind of came out of left field, no pun intended, because I was not a baseball player.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I know the mind. I know baseball. Or I don't know baseball, but I know the mind.
So if somebody is thinking like, "Okay, I'm interested in this, but I'm trying to still wrap my head around it," they're hiring you to help them with how to, you know, uh, view the world, how to make decisions, how to think clearly, how to have a bigger vision for themselves. What is it that
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
it different for
Great
everybody?
question. Yeah, I think so. What I love about coaching, man, is that I am not the expert in Rick's life. If you're the client, Rick is the expert in Rick's life.
Mhm.
So I like to tell people that your goals are my goals.
Okay.
Is that physical health? Is that quadrupling your business? Is that being at peace in the batter's box so you can hit a home run? Is that managing your relationships?
Yeah.
And so what I tell people is that my highest skill is the ability to listen. That's what I'm really good at, is to ask questions and go deep and really listen to people and then speak truth to them
Wow.
and help them get out of their own way and create the life that they're feeling led into, that the spirit is prompting them into. So I'll help people with physical health, losing weight, get in the best shape of their life, all of that. But I also will help people with their prayer life, with their spirituality, their relationship with the Lord.
Okay.
So it's truly, I like to say that I'm a holistic life coach, and it truly is holistic, but I have no agenda or no curriculum for the people who
When people hire you though, do they have a specific thing? I mean, a percentage, like, what percentage of people that look to hire you, they have a specific thing that they need help with specifically versus, "Hey,
Hmm.
I'm just open to, like, I just wanna get better."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if there's
Really good question.
okay.
Really good question. I would say that most people don't have a specific thing like, "Hey, I have this one issue with my husband that I wanna work through."
Okay.
It's more so, I'm not feeling fulfilled. I want some I want more purpose, I want more vitality. I feel like I'm being called to more. So oftentimes, like, the first thing I'll ask someone is, um, "What will make this conversation amazingly useful to you today? If
Mm.
we were to blow this out of the water,
Yeah,
what would happen?"
yeah.
"Well, Nick, I feel more purpose after this, I feel more peace." And then I just keep digging, "Why? Why would you feel more purpose? What would occur?"
Yeah.
And I would just keep listening, listening. What are they trying to tell me?
Mm.
What are they trying to tell me? And then I'd speak to that. And then I'll reflect back what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
and I'll offer distinctions and
Yeah.
insights and anecdotes from my personal story. But really, it's more because people don't know what they want, dude.
They don't.
People don't really know what they want. A coach once told me that no client will ever come to you, Nick, for the first reason that they give you. And I've seen that to be true, dude. I've worked with some people where we're like on 12 sessions in, 15 sessions in, and all of a sudden it comes out that they want to be a coach or they want, like, I just want to leave my job, dude. But for the first 15 sessions, we've been talking about
Other
ultimately
things.
optimizing their job,
Yeah.
helping them show up.
And then they tell you after 15 sessions, they wanna leave their job after 15 sessions.
Yeah, I'm like, you could have told me that.
Okay, so I think I know what you do. You actually help people, get what they want. You help people know what they want. You ask great questions. I mean, first of all, to have a curious mind is I appreciate that 'cause I may struggle with that. Also being a good listener or an active listener. I mean, if you're an active listener, you're hearing what they're saying, you're able to ask questions for them. By the way, it's for them, it's their life, what you're saying. You're just using what they're sharing with you to help them crystallize to get where they're going, and so now I'm understanding, you really help people be the best version of themselves.
Boom, dude. That's what I like to say is I help you unlock the best version of yourself and help you become your true self and help you evolve out of your false self. This personality that you created when you were young to keep yourself safe from the scary world.
Yeah.
And these false identities that you've taken on that are holding you back. I like to help people create, dude, and that's what I love about coaching. It's a partnership based around creativity.
Okay.
What do you want to create?
Yeah. Yep.
And what's in the way?
Yeah.
And why is that in the way?
I got it, I got it.
Right?
So if people wanna get started with you, like, I mean, just what is it a package? Is it an hourly?
Yeah.
Is it a monthly commitment? Or just people to understand?
Totally. Yeah. I have a free 60 minutes to 90 minutes for anyone who wants to have a powerful conversation, no strings attached. That's how I get down because, again, I don't want to work just with just anyone.
Well, you're also interviewing them too. You wanna know if they're committed.
That's it.
Because people say they wanna do something and they don't do most of the time.
That's it right
Okay.
there, dude.
Alright.
That really is it. And so I like to spend time with people up front, free of charge,
Yeah.
to really get to know each other,
Yeah.
understand, can I help you?
Yeah.
Because if it's something that I don't feel like I can help you with, then I'm not gonna try and sell you into a package. But I really want to know, what do you want? What do you want with your life? What do you want to create? And if it's something that I feel like we can come together and create over time, then let's play. I'm down to play.
Yeah.
Here's how I work. So, yeah, to answer your question, man, I have a free 60 minutes for anyone who wants to have a powerful conversation. I just serve. I show up and serve. I don't try and sell anybody.
Yeah.
I don't try and say, like, this is my package. I have this workbook and we're going to work on emotional intelligence and physical health and blah, blah, blah. I just serve for an hour and I'm like, all right, Rick, have a wonderful day, dude. Peace out.
No, 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 no. Everyone is leaving wanting to talk with you again.
Exactly.
Everyone is leaving thinking I wasn't finished talking with Nick. I wanted more time.
Yeah, dude. They're like, what was that? What just occurred over the last hour? I'm like, oh, you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that again. Okay, if that's what we did in an hour, guess what we could do over 18 hours, 20 hours,
Yeah.
30 hours. Give us a year together.
Yeah.
What do you see us create?
Okay, okay. So another thing I love about you and what you do in general is, I think that for men especially, I mean, women should too, but for men, we don't take time out to take inventory in our life. What's going well? It's a 360-degree review. What's going well? What's not going well? What I want to start doing, stop doing, and keep doing. And I think something that I've tried to do for myself is to take regular timeouts to take inventory, to see where I'm at with my life. But a lot of people don't. You're actually creating a platform for people to intentionally take time out,
Mhm,
where they can work on themselves,
mhm.
and they could basically figure out, am I just going through the motions, or what do I want to do with that? So that's a powerful thing, man.
Yeah.
You're helping people,
Exactly.
get what they need, get what
And
they want.
yeah, I guess the end product of that, my company is called Inner Stance. Inner Stance.
Inner stance.
Yeah, Inner Stance. And the end product of that is helping the client develop and create an inner stance, a way of being in the world that is
Okay.
ironclad and can lead them to wherever they want to go.
Okay.
The place they are constantly coming from, regardless of circumstance in the world, regardless if my wife is freaking out on me, regardless if the stock market crashes, regardless
Yeah.
if I strike out,
Yeah.
regardless if I have 1,000 square foot house or a 50,000 square foot
Yeah.
house, regardless of circumstances around me, who I am being is intentionally created to help lead me towards where the spirit's calling me and what makes me come alive. And
Okay.
it's a solid place to come from at any given moment,
Oh,
a way of being in the world. And it's an identity, dude. And it's at one level, it's your true self, unlocking who you truly are
okay.
as a place to come from regardless of what's
Okay.
current. Because most people do, like most people, they focus on where they want to get to. This is where I want to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my goal.
They're not focused on who they are as a person.
Exactly. Where a much more powerful place for me in my own journey has been focusing not on the gets to, but the come from. Because the come from, the place I am coming from is jet fuel to where I'm going to get to.
Okay.
And if I have an empowered inner stance, an inner stance that is in alignment with how God created me,
Yeah.
that can fuel me to any place that I want to go,
Mhm.
right? So,
Okay, so this leads me to my next question, and this is good. So we talked about where we came from. You just talked about where we came from. Okay, talk about your journey, the short version, because I know we could. It's a very powerful story.
yeah,
But from where you were, from when you were teaching
yeah,
and coaching football,
yeah,
and also I want to understand God's place in this,
yeah,
God's
yeah,
point in this, and for me, this is God's economy. To explain your
yeah.
journey from where you were to where you are now,
Yeah, thank you, man.
succinctly, though.
Yeah, totally. Guys, this could be a
Well,
lot,
I know.
but I'll keep it succinct. I grew up in Northern California, in a family that was awesome, dude. I grew up in an awesome family, middle class family. My mom was a children's pastor at a local mega church my entire life. My dad was a physician. I was the youngest of four siblings.
Okay.
I grew up in the faith. I've spent a ton of time attending church when I was young, but I never really had a personal relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, you believed, but you didn't have the person.
Exactly. And I would tell people, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I never, like I said, the magic prayer like 50 times just to make sure I was good, like Lord save me, And, and so when I got into adolescence and became a teenager, I started getting into the ways of the world.
Yeah.
I was an athlete, but I also on the side started fiddling around with weed and drugs and partying and all of that. And so over time, that just became more and more dominant in my life, these two ways of being of like, yeah, I'm the athlete, I'm a quarterback, I'm the point guard of the basketball team, I'm this Christian kid, but also over here, I'm smoking weed every day and going to parties and lying and, using girls and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And over time, those two ways of being, dude, just like they started to wage war on my soul,
Okay.
man. And um the weed was really challenging for me to let go of. I was selling weed when I was a sophomore in high school, got caught at my high school selling a large quantity, got put in jail. Yeah, which, as the quarterback of the team and as a leader on campus was like, kind of eye opening for people. It
Yeah.
rocked the boat with my family. My parents are like, "What? Where is this coming from?" I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that trajectory, just kind of stayed constant throughout my college years as well. Entered college, went to SDSU, got into hip hop, started a record label, kept partying, kept smoking weed, started using pills, Xanax, opiates, all of that. Drinking a lot, partying a lot. Got an internship at Warner Brothers in LA in their hip hop division, moved up there, was pursuing the music industry like wholeheartedly.
Okay.
And at the same time, that's a dark world, you know what I'm saying? The entertainment world, especially the developed entertainment world, and it was the drugs and the partying was just weighing on me, weighing on culture, yeah, on me, exactly. And, behind all of that, I was still dating my high school sweetheart,
Okay.
and we were on and off throughout those years, but I was entering the age at, like, 23, 24, where it was like, I'm gonna get married soon. I don't wanna be smoking weed for the rest of my life, using drugs, like, Lord help me. My wife doesn't even, or my girlfriend at the time doesn't even know I'm doing this. My
Mhm.
parents don't. I got this crazy addiction. I put down the weed and started really picking up the pills, Xanax and opiates, Norcos.
Yeah.
I moved back home. My wife and I got engaged, and I started, like, the adult life outside of college and, La La Land down here, and it was just taking a toll on me, these
Yeah.
2 ways of being in the world, so, um, through lots of prayer, "Lord, help me. Lord, help me get rid of this addiction, press the button in my
Yeah.
mind," and through a lot of struggling, um this is a long story that took place down in Mexico, but what happened was I ended up having a seizure from withdrawing from Xanax in front of my pregnant wife
Oh my
at
gosh.
the time, and almost died on the floor in front of her at a condo, and from that moment on, man, I've been sober by the grace of God. Wow, it was 12 years ago when I was 26, and, so I got sober. I was coaching football at the time,
Mhm.
and after I got sober, I started encountering all of this mental unhealth because I had used substances from age like
To master.
13 to 26.
Yeah.
And then now I'm sober and it's like, okay, now all of a sudden I have social anxiety. All of a sudden I have panic attacks. All of a sudden I have just generalized anxiety.
But did you have those before?
No, I didn't, which was wild for me because I was always confident and but it was always because of substances.
Mm.
I was constantly using them to cover up the pain.
Wow.
I had I had a sister pass away when I was 8 years old that was, like, really spontaneous and sudden for our family, and that caused a lot of emotional pain that I think is underneath a lot of my desire to use
Yeah.
and cover up the negative emotion. So, yeah, so I started suffering, dude, like, experiencing all of this mental and physical unhealth after I got sober, and that led me into solving my own problems. What's going on with me? Why is this happening? I went and got counseling from a bunch of, board certified psychologists and psychiatrists. I got put on SSRIs, and at that same time, I started to, listen heavily to podcasts and read books, biohacks, mental wellness, spiritual wellness.
Oh,
Um,
you wanted to be better.
yeah,
You wanted to get better.
exactly, man. And I started solving my own problems. And that's around that same time after I got sober, I was coaching football and I was also working in real estate and I hated real estate. And I started to have people, and this is one of the ways that the Lord speaks to us, I feel like, is through people.
Really?
And so I had all of these people say, like, Nick, why don't you teach, dude? You'd be an awesome teacher. And 2 weeks later, another person out of the blue is like, hey man, have you ever thought about being a teacher? So I went, got my credential, started teaching high school, and within that, after I got into that role, I instantly felt this isn't gonna be where you're gonna be for the rest of your life. This isn't
Mhm.
your place for the rest of your life. I thought like I'm gonna be a teacher for the next 35 years. I'm gonna retire. But once I got in that classroom, room 303, it was like, I have something else for you. And so I spent 5 years as a teacher. And within those 5 years, really just focused on getting better, dude, mentally, spiritually, physically. And I launched a podcast that did decently well. I started putting out content on Instagram. And then people started asking me, Nick, what are you doing, dude? You're different. You look different. You talk different. Like, what are you doing? And so I was introduced to the world of health coaching
Okay.
and then life coaching, got some certifications. And then, yeah, the Lord led me out, closed doors, open doors, which is another way that God speaks is, if you start walking in one direction, if is a door opening or closing, right? And a bunch of doors open for me to step out of teaching, and I
Okay.
went full time into coaching, man, and really haven't looked back.
I love how you say, because we were talking about with another friend on how we hear God, and one of the ways is when He opens and closes doors.
Yes.
And it's not that He closed the teaching door, but He opened other doors for you to walk through, and you recognized those and did your part.
Mhm.
Um, so What's an average day for you? What's an average, like, a day to day? Like,
Yeah.
you're working with, a few clients. You have, like, is it half-hour sessions, or are they an hour session? Are they all the same amount of time, or what does that look like?
Yeah, yeah. At least an hour,
Okay,
usually,
leave
but
it
I've
out.
also had times where I feel like 30 minutes into a session, we come to an insight that is really powerful for the person I'm working with, and I'll say like, "Dude, I feel like we're complete right now. I just
Oh,
wanna give you that."
okay.
Um and want you to hold on to that. And I feel like we're complete for today. Let's circle back next week. But my sessions are booked for an hour. I have an awesome home office we have some land out in Northern California. So yeah, a typical day, man. I try not to book more than 5 calls a day because that's what I have about capacity for, where I
Yeah.
can really serve people powerfully. But I love being a dad, dude. I got 3 kids, 10, 9, and 6.
Boys, girls?
Yeah, 2 girls, and then little man, boy.
Little man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
And that's man, that's what I value more than anything is time with them.
yeah.
It's going by so fast already that, um, that's my priority,
It should be.
being with
It
them.
should be.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you have the platform for the type of work you do, where you can carve out the time, or you can make time for your kids, and that's so important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this thought there down here. So, where it's transcendent wellness. What does it mean?
Transcendent wellness, man, that's a lot to unpack, but how I see that at one level is this ability to transcend the flesh, transcend the material world. And this is deep, but the reality that we live in,
Mhm.
the most fundamental reality is that of a spiritual world, right?
Mm.
So if like I took out a gun right now and shot you, your body would fall to the ground, but Rick, the spirit of Rick would go be somewhere else,
That's true.
right?
I believe that.
We're spiritual beings inhabiting biological containers.
That's the transcendent part, is what
Exactly.
as it were spiritual
So
beings.
being able to transcend the material world, dude, the
Okay.
desires of the material world, the shortcomings of the material world, to
Yeah.
really abide in the vine,
Yeah.
to bring this full circle to the beginning of our conversation, regardless of circumstance,
Yeah.
regardless of what's occurring around me, regardless of how much money I make, regardless of the political climate, regardless of the wars overseas, regardless of the situations and circumstances that are occurring, how can I be at peace? And I feel like that is the transcendent wellness. You transcend the ways of the world and can still have a sense of peace within you. Inner
Yes.
peace. That's how I talk about spiritual maturity, is the ability to be at peace
Okay.
regardless of circumstance. Um, and to transcend the material life that most people are caught up in, that is causing all this anxiety and fear and self-promotion and
Yes.
protection,
For sure.
all of that. Right.
So in your journey, in your story, and again, what I love about this is that you're using everything that God's put you through, recognizing God's place in the process to be where you're at today.
Yeah.
What's God's place in your life? What does God mean to you? How do you define it for someone's looking? Hey, I'm not sure if I believe. I believe, but I don't follow. Tell me about your walk with God, and what that looks like, and what it means to you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, it's everything, dude. It's everything. And I think it's so fascinating how Jesus in scripture said to all his friends, he said, "It's better that I leave and I send to you what's coming, which is the Holy Spirit." They're like, "Bro,
They didn't want him to leave.
flesh.
Right, right.
Stay
Yeah.
here and do
Yeah.
miracles and all that." And he's like, "No, it's better that
That's
I leave and you get what's coming,
amazing.
which is the spirit of the creator God."
Wow.
Everything was made in Christ, through Christ, and for Christ. So I can, out this window, I can see Christ in the trees. I
Yeah.
see Christ in you.
Yeah.
When I'm able to see God in everything,
Yeah.
that's where I'm able to transcend this world and abide in the vine, in the language of,
Yeah.
the gospels, and have a supernatural peace via the spirit of God that exists within me,
Yes.
regardless of what's going on.
Okay, so another thing comes to mind right now. You're talking about this. So you just said you can to see, and I think that God gives us, if we ask for. And what I also like is that you ask for help. You've been asking for all of these things from God. God can give us eyes to see. You are literally helping people get eyes to see for themselves. A real God in heaven, a tangible God, a God you can walk with, hope in a situation, answers to problems, solutions to questions, all of these things. Um, that's a powerful thing, man.
Dude, that's a huge point that you're making right there, and it's all throughout scripture. This It's this idea of seeing correctly. Like, even when Jesus talks to Nicodemus, who's this Pharisee, comes to him in the night, he's like, "Dude, Jesus, what are you doing? Who are you?" And what Jesus says to him is, "Surely you cannot see the kingdom unless you are born again." It's a seeing thing.
And what did he say? Remember, you know what he said after that?
He can someone be born? How can someone be born again if I was already born? And he's like, no, it's a spiritual rebirth. It's a new eye. And dude, even with like Paul, he goes blind,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
it
the
gets new sight.
Yes.
And this is what I tell people who I work.
That's a great analogy, by the way.
It's not a doing thing. People will come to me and say, Nick, what do I need to do to feel better? What do I need to do to have a thriving relationship with my wife? What do I need to do to create this business? And a lot of coaches focus on doing land. Here's what you need to do. You need to have a date night. You need to bring flowers. You need to do.
It's a task list.
Do. Exactly. But for me,
Nothing wrong with it, but
yeah, totally.
but
It's coming out of seeing. All doing comes out of how you are seeing.
yeah.
And if you're seeing correctly, this is why the Gospels say that if the eye is healthy, the whole body will be full of light,
Yes.
right? And so it's not a doing thing, it's a seeing thing.
Yeah.
If I'm seeing the world correctly, if I'm seeing how the Spirit's prompting me into this or that, or if I'm seeing the spiritual realm,
Yeah.
the invisible landscape,
Yeah.
I will know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And that connects to the transcendent piece of being able to see beyond the physical world.
I love that. I mean, and so again, I mean, we're just talking about faith here, and this is an important part of my life, and it obviously sounds like an important part of yours. It's a foundation of your life. Is there's believing, even the demons believe, is what I tell my friends. So even the demons believe. So is believing enough? And if believing is like having a Bible study, is a Bible study great if you just studied it and you just left and it didn't change your life or you didn't do something?
Hmm.
The whole point, it should be called Bible of wisdom or something. So you actually apply what we're learning, Bible knowledge and wisdom. So my whole point is that the transcendent piece is the spirit. And I think for a believer's life, don't we need the Holy Spirit more?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't the spirit where we can have the eyes to see and then discernment in our heart, or we can have thoughts and intuitions and understanding and discretion where moments before we didn't have it?
Hmm. That's a huge point, dude. And what you're speaking to at one level is the skill of discerning the voice of God.
Yeah.
The skill of discerning the voice of God is huge. The skill that can be developed. And what I personally know about the voice of God is that it's the small, subtle, still voice. You know what I'm saying? And in a world where there's all of these things circulating in news and social media and family and things,
A lot of noise.
there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Man. There's a lot of noise. It's like Blaise Pascal said. He said, all of man's problems come from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone.
Okay, I have a comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
Create an atmosphere to hear from him.
Go on.
Create an atmosphere to hear from him. You want to hear the voice of God? Oh, no, you hear God. Create an atmosphere to hear from him. Like,
Yes.
if you got to go away for a retreat, go away for 2 days. If you got to spend a night in a hotel by yourself and just get quiet, do it. If you can do it in the morning, great. I mean, for me, it's been hard to sit still. For me, I'm kind of
Mhm.
some level of ADD or just constant thinker or whatever. But getting still is important and learning to hear God's voice. And like you said, I think the thing I like what you said is because it's not a hammer over the head.
Yeah.
It's the still one that doesn't go away. And thank God he chases after us. He never gives up. His love never runs out, never gives up on us. And even asking me to do this, he put this on my heart for months before I decided to do this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to sell my business and then I'll do it. I'm like, why do I have to sell my business before I start doing this? I could walk into my purpose now. He'll do whatever he wants in my business. It's his anyways.
Yes.
Who is it mine to hold on to?
Let's go. And within that, then you experience the power of God because at one level you are risking, you're stepping out of the boat.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants us to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's what he's inviting us to do is, okay, and this is what you talked about with like the Bible studies. There's intellectual knowledge there. Like, let's learn about the Bible. Let's learn about these philosophies or whatever.
Yeah.
But then where is the experiential knowledge? And the experiential knowledge, the experiential knowing of God's presence in your life comes when you step out of the boat, when you risk a little bit. I'm working with this dude who is an ex-D1 athlete, way up in sales, has a beautiful wife, 2 kids, beautiful home by the ocean in California. And he came to me and said, I want more spiritual connection in my life. I want to experience God more. And I listened to him for a little bit. And then I said, I would just call him Robert. I said, Robert, where are you risking right now? He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Where are you risking right now?" It's like, "Dude, I'm risk averse. That's the whole reason I'm successful."
Yeah.
And I said, "Where is there space for God to move in your life, D? Right now, it sounds like you're in 100% control of your life. Like, you have an awesome family, you have this beautiful home, you're part of this golf club, you have this awesome job, you're the number one sales rep. Where is there need for God? Why do you need Him? Where do you need to step out of the boat? Where do you need to risk?" And he's like, "Huh." And then he said, "Well, I just got word that there's this men's Bible study starting in a couple weeks, and that terrifies me because I don't know really anything about the Bible. I don't know these old stories that people are talking about. Like, I don't even know who Noah was or a." And I'm like, "What do you feel like you should do then?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to that Bible study."
It's so powerful that you don't tell people what to do. I have to just say that. It's so powerful that you ask them the question and they get the conclusion themselves. Someone told me once, telling is not selling. When they say it, it's true. So you're creating a
That's
platform
really
like for
good.
this people, like right here. They're like, you're asking him, like, so what did he say?
Yeah, he went. That was about 6 months ago. Now he's on fire. His prayer life has never been the same. After that first meeting, he was like, "Dude, up until from our conversation up until that Bible study,
Yeah.
I've never read as much in my Bible.
Wow.
I've never prayed as much before. I've never been on my knees as much," because he had something, and I tell some clients this, put something scary on the calendar.
Yeah.
What is on your calendar that makes you feel like you are out of
Dude, to this day with you and these other dudes, I could have done that like a month sooner. I was putting it off. What I really need to sit down was discern who are my people.
let's go.
But that's all it was. It was just a decision.
Yeah.
And again, it gets back to one thing I appreciate about what you're doing for your clients and in general is that you're creating an awareness for people to see they have another choice.
Yeah, dude.
You do not have to stay stuck here. You do not have to stay just having a happily unhappy life.
Yes.
When this is what I tell people. Most people are happily unhappy.
Yeah, man.
They don't want to. They don't want to be thrilled.
Yeah.
They don't want to be hating life.
Yeah.
But they don't want to be thrilled.
Yeah.
They're afraid of it. They don't think they can achieve it. They're not worth it. They don't deserve it. It's not attainable. It's for somebody else. And you help people break through that mental frame of mind.
Yeah.
Which I love. Another thing I love a lot about you, but the mindset thing. We're talking about mental performance. We're talking about getting better. We're talking about thought life.
Yes, dude.
Let's talk about that. Okay, so as a believer,
Yeah.
I think one of the things, okay, because the word tells us protect your heart,
Yeah. Yeah.
protect your mind.
Yeah.
Everything we say comes from the heart, and I think thoughts become words, words become actions.
Hmm.
Because this is powerful. Talk about protecting thought life, or just thought life in general.
Yeah.
'Cause this is something where we can have more self discipline about what we allow ourselves to watch, listen to, think, and all this. Tell me about it.
Yeah, man. I feel like when I was a teacher, it was such a shame that these things that we're about to talk about were not being communicated to the youth, dude. And these like first principles that we're going to explore in regards to the mind
Mhm.
aren't told to us and taught to us when we're 6 years old.
Yeah,
And so there's lots of ways to go about this, but the first thing to understand is, and the first question to ask is, are you your thinking? Are you your thinking? Right?
are you your thinking? It's a great question.
And the way that I help people, I did this in front of a church service a few weeks back. I said, close your eyes for 15 seconds with me. And I had these people close their eyes. There's like 250 people out there, I think. And I said, I just want you to observe what's going on in your mind for the next 15 seconds. And if you do that, you can see that you can observe what's going on in your mind. You are thinking. You can observe your thinking. And if you can observe something, what must that inherently mean? If I can observe that flower right there or that bush right there, that inherently means that I am not the bush. If I can observe the bird, that inherently means that I am not the bird. I am the observer.
Right.
So the first place of freedom for me is this understanding, this awareness that I am not my thinking. I do not have to be captive to the thoughts. The brain
Right.
produces 60,000, upwards of 60,000 thoughts per day.
And that's biblical. It says, take your thoughts captive.
Boom. Exactly, dude. There's a constant stream
Yeah.
of thought pouring out of a brain.
Yeah.
And that's what brains do. Brains think.
Yeah.
We access our freedom when we realize that we are not that stream of thinking.
I like it.
We are the awareness behind the stream of thinking.
It's deep.
So that's the first place that I like to go with people. But then understanding what you were saying is that our thoughts, they are they are creative. Our thinking is constantly creating worlds
Yeah.
that we then live into. Most people don't know that. Most people think that thinking is descriptive. Oh, my wife's driving me nuts because she's doing this. All this traffic's killing me,
Yeah.
or this or that. Right?
These are the thoughts.
Because they're just describing a world. But what's happening is no, you are creating the world where your wife drives you nuts. You're creating the world where the traffic is killing you. Your thinking is constantly creating realities, and then you live into them.
Yeah.
And so, man, there's a lot that we could talk about within the thinking, because the other aspect of that is feeling. Feelings are created from thinking, right? We think
Yeah.
most people are told, and we are
This is too deep for guys, by the way. Guys are like, what are we talking about? Is there a football game on this weekend?
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, but this is the kind of thing that's so important.
totally.
But so in a short also.
Yeah. The only thing that can produce a feeling in your body is a thought in your mind.
That's odd. I mean, that's a fact, actually.
Right?
That's a fact.
And it's different from sensations. Like if I were to, like, stab you in the leg, it's like your thinking didn't cause the pain. No, that's a sensation caused by an external force causing that. But feelings, if I think that my wife's words make me feel a certain way, that is a misunderstanding, because feelings, a chemical reaction occurring in my body,
Yeah.
energy in my body, can only come from one place, a thought in the mind.
Thought in the morning.
Right?
Okay.
And if I think that the behaviors of my boss or the words in an email
Yeah.
can change my body chemistry,
Yeah.
that's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And now all of my emotional wellness is in the hands of an email. Or if the stock market crashed, and now I'm anxious.
And it's all circumstantial then.
Exactly. Because now I'm outsourcing all of my wellness,
Okay.
all of my emotional wellness, right?
Okay.
My inner world, to something outside of.
So let's talk about this then. So, because this is one, okay. So, my heart is on God's economy. I was talking about this. I'm like, why am I talking about this? And several of my reels. And why do I keep talking about this? This whole thing was born, and I'm thinking about God's currency and God's economy. Everyone should be able to define for themselves
Mm,
what God's economy looks like and is in their life. And one of the currencies of God is peace.
mm.
And you help people get peace.
Yes.
So tell us
Yeah.
practical ways that we can put ourselves in a situation where we can experience the kind of peace that only God can give us.
Yeah, man. Love that. I think the first thing that comes to mind, dude, is knowledge of the word, knowledge of the Bible, scripture, what it
Why
actually
though?
says.
Tell us why I think that.
I mean, if
I
we,
agree with you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If we really, as Christians, get down to the nuts and bolts of what we believe that the creator God, the supernatural being who spoke the cosmos into existence and orchestrated all of this,
Yes,
is choosing to reveal himself through that book.
I agree with you. Yep.
Right? Like that's what we believe at a fundamental level. And so it would make sense that we immerse ourselves and know that book cover to cover, because within that are all the answers, all of truth.
That's
I
what I
love
say.
his definition of mental health. It comes from M. Scott Peck. He says, mental health is an ongoing dedication to reality at all costs. Mental health is an ongoing dedication to reality at all costs, which for me begs the question of what is reality? And in the New Testament, it says reality is found in Christ. Okay, what is Christ's main message? Christ's main message was that the kingdom of God is here now. Here now. The heaven is not some place that we get to in the future if we behave correctly. Heaven, the kingdom of God, is a place that we can access right now via our mind, via our thinking. Um, and so mental health is an ongoing process of dedication to the kingdom at all costs. The kingdom is revealed through the word, right? So understanding truth, understanding the word,
Yeah.
knowing it allows me to meditate on it and dwell on it. And when I'm in a circumstance that is challenging, I can direct my mind towards truth and feel, as you're talking about, the currency of God, the fruit of the Spirit.
Yes.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, Galatians 5, right? Because
Wow. That's good.
all thinking produces feelings.
Yes.
So what I tell clients is that if the fruit of the Spirit is not present in your body, then what's in your mind is not of the kingdom.
Oh my.
right? Is not
Say that again, man. Say that
if
part again. That's good.
fruit
That's
of
good.
the spirit is not present in your body, then what is in your mind is not of the kingdom.
Wow. Mic drop right there. We could just end right there.
Dude, and what I
That's
tell
crazy.
connected to that, what I tell MLB dudes that I work with who experience anxiety and insecurity walking up to
Yeah.
the plate,
Yeah.
a lot of coaches and people will tell them like, here's how you get rid of it, dude. This is what you need to do. Breathe this way, think this way, talk this way, journal this way,
Yeah.
whatever. But what the direction that I point people in is that no, your feelings are alert system
Yeah.
to the thoughts in your mind. So if you're experiencing insecurity, that means that your body is working perfectly, exactly how God designed it to,
Hmm.
because it's your body's way of alerting you to the fact that your mind has wandered into illusion land. You're forgetting who you are,
Mars and land. Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
forgetting who you are.
Yeah. And whose you are.
Exactly, dude. You still think that your identity is wrapped up in if you hit a home run or if you don't hit a home run.
Mm-hmm.
And what I know is that athletes perform at their best when their mind is clear.
Yeah.
Like, most people have had that moment where their mind is clear, they're flowing, whether surfing, snowboarding, shooting a basketball,
Yeah.
whatever. Your mind is clear when you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose when you remember whose you are and who you are,
Yeah.
and that none of this material landscape, whether or not I tell the baseball players, whether or not you hit a home run today or you strike out and never play baseball again,
Yeah.
both of those outcomes
Yeah.
mean zero about who you are. Zero. Whether you're lovable, acceptable, successful, worthy,
I believe that.
any of that, right?
I believe.
Both of those outcomes. And then when they're able to see that, then they're able to walk up to the plate with a clear mind because none of that matters.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're way more likely to hit a dinger because they have a clear mind.
So now I get it when you say helping people get out of their own way.
Yeah, dude.
Help get out of your own way, clear your mind, what really matters, what's really important, whose you are, who are you? It's not the home run, those types of things. Man, if you guys aren't if you guys aren't working with Nick, man, y'all missing out. I'm just telling you right now, this is powerful conversation. Let's wrap it up here. Like give our audience like any insight or wisdom into something that they could do in their life. It could be belief, it could be, hope,
Yeah.
it could be like, the reality of today versus what could actually be tomorrow. And I look at your journey from where you were to where you are, and you're your own first client,
Mm-hmm.
which I really love.
Yes, dude.
You worked on yourself, you got healed, you got well,
Yeah.
you overcame a lot, and now you're paying it forward in a way of helping others get the same. What would you say to encourage them to stop thinking about it and just do it?
Yeah, man.
Be your advice.
Yeah. I think the first thing that comes to mind is really developing an ironclad relationship with yourself, which looks like keeping your word to yourself, being your word. You say you're going to do something, you do it. I used to have this thing where, like, after church, I'd be like, hey, man, let's get coffee sometime with zero intention. You're never going to have coffee. Exactly, dude.
But we all say it.
Exactly. But developing this practice of ruthlessly keeping your word to yourself and developing this ironclad relationship with yourself, because that relationship is where all things are encountered. You're
Yeah.
only ever in relationship with yourself,
Yeah.
with your personal thinking. I would say to you, what's your wife's name again?
Hilda.
Hilda.
Yeah.
What I would say to you is you have actually never met Hilda. Literally. You have only met the ideas that you have about that being that we call Hilda.
That's true.
You are only ever in relationship with your thinking about Hilda.
Yeah.
You are only ever in relationship with yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so if that relationship,
It's deep, by the way.
right?
Super deep.
If that relationship is tainted, then you're going to experience a lot of discomfort in your life because all of life, including Hilda, is encountered in your relationship with yourself,
Yeah.
right? So ruthlessly keeping your word to yourself. You say you're going to do something, you do it. You say you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., you work out, you're going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. The other thing I would say is, and this is like pretty in vogue right now, but sitting in silence, dude, and letting, but for longer bouts of time. I've spent a lot of time in silence, and for the first like 13 to 14 minutes for me, the flesh, the monkey mind goes crazy,
I was
right?
gonna say, dude.
But then there's this space that opens up after that where the flesh is able to calm down a little bit. You're able to enter this more spacious place of awareness and observance of what is coming up. Why is that coming up?
Yeah.
Where that's where the voice of God often presents itself. I see crazy visuals, crazy kaleidoscopes of colors. I start envisioning beautiful futures. I see myself speaking on stages, smiling, connecting with people.
After the break, after the minutes that you're going crazy,
Yeah, exactly.
after you race through.
Yeah, yeah. I'll usually try and sit for 30 minutes. I've done hour
So
long.
what's the benefit of that? That you train your mind to be disciplined, or what is it?
Yeah, I think honestly, like at the deepest level, it starts to clear and unpack the subconscious. You start to see things. One of the ways I've heard it described, which I love by Naval Ravikant, is he says you go throughout life and you have all of these interactions and situations and circumstances that do not get resolved.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't have time to resolve. Like, you see a guy at the gas station, but then you got to go to work and then you go to work and all these things happen. Then you come home. And so your inbox starts to get cluttered. It starts to get full. When you sit in meditation, when you sit in contemplation, when you sit in silence, it allows your body, your subconscious to start bringing up all the emails and you
Yes.
can start clicking through them.
Yes.
But if you only do it for 7 minutes a day or less than 15 minutes, I would say you can't really get to that space where the emails truly populate. And so, what I found personally is there's a place that you can get to where you get to inbox zero, dude. And all of a sudden, a lot of those unresolved circumstances and situations, you can look at them, you can work through them, and then they float away. But then other things from the past, other situations, other people, other opportunities, other whatever challenges, they start to come up. And you can really start to look at them and see the narratives behind them and see how you feel within them. And then you can process through them. And so it's one of the most powerful practices to increase self-awareness.
Yeah.
It increases the awareness of
Yes.
the thoughts you're having,
Yes.
the voice of God,
Okay.
right? Like what is still bubbling up? Because dude, if you go sit for an hour by yourself, I think everyone should be curious of like what's gonna come up.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like why?
Right.
Why is that there?
This is amazing. I mean, this is the most powerful conversation. I mean, I've just spent this time with you right now, and if this is what it's like every time for a potential client, y'all should really consider, hiring Nick for the things that you're trying to do in your life to be the best version of your life, the best version of yourself in your life.
Thanks.
Thanks for being on our show.
My pleasure.
Make sure you follow him on social. Definitely follow God's Economy on YouTube and all the social platforms. We're going to definitely have Nick back on again, but until next time, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, brother.